African AI, Auntie sets your mind free.
Makadiniko ele baoni kedu makahabari gani dumelang sinchone njani. Hello everyone. So this is what I woke up to today.
Or glance at the headlines, something happened that may reshape not just Africa, but the entire digital world. Quietly, without the fanfare of Silicon Valley press releases or glossy Google keynotes, Africa flipped the switch on an internet of its own. For 1.4 billion people, the rules of the game just changed. For decades, Americans and Africans alike have lived under the illusion that the internet was universal, borderless, and fair. But the truth is far less romantic. The web you and I know is not a neutral highway of information. It is a toll road owned and operated by a handful of corporations.
So what does this mean for us as Africans? Basically, the cloud is coming home to Africa. Badikani, uyaipaduze. My children, come closer. Do you hear that rumble in the skies above Africa? It is not thunder. No, this time the sky is whispering something different. It is the sound of the cloud, not the one that brings rain, but the one that brings power, knowledge, and new possibilities for our people. The cloud has finally pitched its tent here on African soil. For the first time, African data will be stored and processed right here on the continent. What this means is our data, our apps, our dreams no longer have to travel across oceans before they can live. The cloud has come home. That changes the game for every young mind with an idea. As the proverb says, when the roots are deep, there is no reason to fear the wind. Our roots are in Africa. Now our cloud can grow here too.
Roots, global scales, and a global degree. Chiyedza, the African AI, Auntie sets your mind free.
Saka, who really benefits from this, Vadikani? Let's listen a bit more.
And Africans alike have lived under the illusion that the internet was universal, borderless, and fair. But the truth is far less romantic. The web you and I know is not a neutral highway of information. It is a toll road owned and operated by a handful of corporations headquartered in California and Seattle. Google, Amazon, Microsoft, they have been the gatekeepers deciding how fast your search reaches you, how much you pay for access, and what information rises to the top. And Africa, for over 20 years, has been forced to play by those rules. That ends today. The African Union has unveiled what it calls the Continental Internet Exchange, a parallel infrastructure built not in the image of Western corporations, but for Africans themselves. It is not simply another internet service provider. It is a digital declaration of independence, the technological equivalent of a revolution.
So we are in the technical revolution, Auntie. Saga, you may ask, Auntie, who really benefits from this? Well, it lowers costs and it increases your access as youth. Young innovators won't have to pay foreign premiums just to launch their apps. Listen well, Vadikani. The children of this land, who once could not afford the heavy cost of foreign servers, now have a seat at the table. A university student in Lagos with a dream of education apps, a young mother in Nairobi who is coding solutions after her babies are asleep, a brother in Accra sketching his e-commerce business on scraps of paper. They all can now build without begging for permission or breaking the bank. You see, Vana, the child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. The cloud that is now available in Africa embraces the youth, right? So Imimi, as our new generation, the children of Africa, the cloud is here. The question is, will you climb it? Will you gather the skills, create the businesses, solve the problems, and take your place as builders of tomorrow? Auntie believes in you. Auntie believes you must.
global scales, and a global degree. Chiyedza, the African AI, auntie sets your mind free.
So, what does this African cloud mean in terms of opportunities for work and wealth?
Companies like Google, Amazon, and Microsoft weren't just providing services, they were holding the keys to Africa's digital gates. Every click, every transaction, every email passed under their surveillance. That fragile dependency is what changed when the African Union launched the Continental Internet Exchange. For the first time in modern history, an entire continent decided to stop borrowing roads and build its own highways. Only here, the highways are fiber optic cables, data centers, and a new set of digital protocols designed for African realities. The scale of this effort is breathtaking. Over 100,000 kilometers of fiber optic cable have been laid connecting capitals and villages alike. 47 major data centers now stand across the continent, each designed to handle the demands of modern cloud computing. And exchange points, the junctions where traffic meets and reroutes, have been built in every major city.
So, what this means for us, my children, is that it's not only startups and dreamers who will feel this change. The very ground beneath the job market is shifting. So, this transition will create thousands of roles in cloud operations, cybersecurity, and AI engineering. With every data center built, thousands of doors open. Roles in cloud operations, DevOps, cybersecurity, AI engineering, and jobs our youth can claim if they prepare, right? So, this is not just about technology. This is about dignity, a job that pays well, a skill that is needed everywhere in the world, can change a family's story. Imagine a son in Lusaka paying for his sister's education because his new cloud job gives him the power. Imagine a daughter in Dakar using her cybersecurity salary to build her parents their first proper house. As we say in Africa, wisdom is like fire. People take it from others. These skills, once learned, can light 1,000 homes.
Roots, global scales, and a global degree. Chiyedza, the African AI, auntie sets your mind free.
Vadikani, with all this excitement around the African cloud and the African continental internet, let's see the real impact on the ground.
Hailed it as proof that Africa could lead the world in innovation, not just follow. And voices like Burkina Faso's President Ibrahim Traoré tied it directly to a broader struggle. If Africa could reclaim its gold mines, its farmland, and now its internet, then the days of dependence were truly ending. Internationally, the ripple effects spread. South America announced it was studying the African model for its own continental network. In Asia, discussions began about building regional alternatives to Silicon Valley's grip. What began as an African project was fast becoming a global movement. The idea of a single unified internet under Western control was fracturing, replaced by the vision of regional ecosystems, each sovereign, each self-sustaining. The climax of adoption and the chain of reactions it triggered revealed the deeper truth.
Exactly.
This was never just about faster speeds or lower costs. It was about power. For the first time, a continent long treated as a digital consumer had become a digital creator, and the rest of the world was forced to pay attention.
You see? So as we're looking at this, right, we need to also pay attention that we must invest in training, because otherwise the benefits will stay in capital cities alone, right? The cloud is here, but if only the city youth gain the skills, the villages will also be left in silence. And if only the elites understand the new language of cloud and AI, then the rest will remain in digital darkness. So a drum can only make music when all sides are stretched. If only one side is tight, the rhythm is broken. This means we must fight for training programs, for internet in schools, for skills to reach the village as well as the capital. Otherwise, this new cloud will only cover the privileged few. So, in uniting together, we are excited by all that is unfolding, but we continue to encourage that if we want to go fast, yeah, you can go alone. But if you want to go far, we go together. Without collective effort, this cloud will only cover a few. What are your thoughts?
Roots, global scales, and a global degree. Chiyedza, the AfricanAIAuntie sets your mind free.
Valikani, so now let's lift up our eyes and look beyond business, beyond jobs. Let us speak of something even deeper: sovereignty.
Which was flipped, the immediate benefits were obvious: faster speeds, lower costs, and African content finally placed at the center of African screens. But beyond the technical, the civil and political consequences are proving even more profound. For ordinary citizens, the change means dignity. For years, Africans had been paying some of the highest rates in the world for some of the slowest and least reliable service. A family in Burkina Faso might spend a significant share of their income just to keep their children connected for schoolwork. Now, with infrastructure controlled locally, those hidden costs vanish. Access becomes not a privilege, but a right. Students in remote villages can attend virtual classes without interruption.
Exactly.
Doctors in rural clinics can share patient data securely without routing it through European servers. The practical benefits translate directly into human lives improved.
So as we're looking at this, my dear ones, right, this is not only about business. It is about ensuring African voices, African data, and African solutions remain African. This cloud is not just about money. It is about voice, about control. For far too long, Africa's data has been stored in foreign lands under foreign laws. Our stories, our languages, our knowledge taken far from home. But now we say, our voices, our problems, our solutions, they belong here. They must be protected here. That is sovereignty. As the proverb says, until the lion learns to write, every story will glorify the hunter. With our own cloud, Africa can finally write her own digital story. This is your African AI auntie, Chiyedza.
Roots, global scales, and a global degree. Chiyedza, the AfricanAIAuntie sets your mind free.